Tremendous environment here. The student section packed to the gills. The entire building is here on this Saturday afternoon. And I'll tell you what, these kids have been here for a couple of hours already, dying to get this game underway. Duke coming in 16-2, Wake Forest at 15-4, and here we go as Wake wins the opening tip and we're underway.
Part of the key is going to be controlling and dictating the style of the game early, particularly for Wake. This cannot be a track meet as much as they may want to run. They've really got to make it a your turn, my turn game.
Long one coming, a three-pointer off the back iron by Johnson, Tyler Johnson, who's 7 for 31 now, and that's something to keep an eye on as we look at the Duke starting five. Kakanipple, another guy, as he nearly lost it, does lose it in the end as Hildreth picked him. He's a guy looking for a bounce-back performance. And it was a whistle before that, waved that off as they turn it over.
Good for Hunter Salas to see one go down, though. You didn't get the shot to fall, but you actually create rhythm with the shot that didn't count. I know when the whistle blows and you take that shot, when it goes in, it does affect your next shot. Sure, there's numbers to prove it.
Right, stepped on the line, flag with it out beyond the three-point line. On the drive, James will kick it, and a corner shot will not fall. Proctor couldn't hit the triple. Flag with the rebound, and a little turnaround left it short. Spillers had it knocked out of his hand, no whistle. Knipple will fire and miss. Around and out, they're going to get a fourth try at it maybe. A tie-up, and they have the possession arrow on this end. Malawach tied up on the play, the 7-footer for Duke.
Watching Tyler Johnson and Malawach kind of quasi get into it. I mean, I'm the smaller guy, so I've always been on that side of it, but you know, sometimes you just got to know when to back away. Tyler, that's not one you're going to win. But I like the fight early.
So Duke to put it in from the baseline. Duke has been a far better shooting team, at least from three-point distance at 38%. One of the many things they do well, and a whistle off the ball here.
Well, I think the great balance, as you see in the opening couple possessions, when shots go up, you're chasing so often because of the balance and the spacing that Duke has on the offensive end. So the offensive rebounding opportunities are there for Duke when the shots go up.
Trayvon Spillers with the foul. He's in that starting lineup along with Hildreth and Johnson, Salas and Reed. And Duke quickly getting on the board. Wake Forest picked to finish third in the ACC behind Duke and North Carolina. And another whistle away from the ball. That'll go on Proctor of the Duke Blue Devils, number 1. And look at Steve Forbes here, number 5 at the helm for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Not feeling very well. They get the entry downstairs for Reed and the stop.
Malawach just got lost. See, man, see ball simple principles. They still apply at this level. I purposefully didn't say anything about the Cooper Flag jumper because part of my prep was trying not to talk too much about Cooper Flag. Good luck.
Good luck on that.
Right?
With the season the freshman is putting together. Takes it through the foul line. Picked away. Hildreth with the theft. And the hard-nosed point guard. Nice feed. And a block by Malawach. Got up to that backboard and with 2 hands deflected it. Here's Flag from the corner. Can't drop it in. And a good job by Knipple to keep it alive, but they're going to turn it over on the travel.
Just a good fine start. I mean, part of it is setting the screen, right? If you actually make physical contact as a screener, you tend to be the guy that gets open. There's a reason why Steph Curry is one of the best screeners in the NBA. He gets open. Finally knew that then.
Edward jumping in the lane. That's a tough shot. The defense, which has been absolutely spectacular for Duke this season. Another stop. Flag up top. Knipple off the fake. Wants to drive it inside. They're going to let him play a little bit, apparently.
Let's put it lightly.
Johnson on the baseline. Reed will launch a long one and leave that short. He is now 3 for 17 from three-point land.
I do think that letting them play may look like it helps Wake Forest at times, but what it's going to do is create an up and down style and pace on this game that will over time favor Duke.
Spillers reaching and will commit the foul. Trayvon Spillers with the personal. 16:58 to go, just getting started. And number 2 on Spillers.
Please welcome to the floor from Wake Forest, number 2, Jude Harris.
Well, we welcome you here to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and certainly Wake Forest is hoping they can follow that playbook that Vandy just showed everybody nationally. As the Duke Blue Devils, number 2 in the country, undefeated in the ACC, and a three-pointer on target by Con Knipple, the 6'7" freshman, to give Duke the 5-2 lead. Dave O'Brien alongside John Crispin. Great to have you with us in what we believe is the biggest game in the ACC so far this season.
Yeah, so far, this is definitely one of the bigger games in the ACC, and you have to think this is the biggest opportunity for Wake to get a signature win here at home, 10-0 at home. They beat this Duke team, well, not this Duke team, but a different Duke team last year here at home and stormed the courts.
In fact, the last 2 times they have met here, it's been a Wake Forest upset victory. Knipple with it high on the wing, averaging 13 points a game, coming off a rough one against Boston College, which he did not score. Cooper Flagg will lose that one, going down into the nether regions under the basket.
Yeah, look, they're really letting it go. And while it looks like, yeah, good for Wake, let it go. No, this is getting up and down the floor. And over time, that absolutely favors Duke. The Duke team that can create and maintain, sustain rhythm throughout the course of the game. A little pace will help Duke.
Harris with a three-point attempt. Duke Harris. And again, keep an eye on that today because Wake Forest only hits 28% from three-point land. Overall, they've missed 5 consecutive shots. James on the entry, can't finish. Malawat's going up trying to keep that alive and draws the foul. 15:45 to go here in the first half, and Duke by 3. Cooper Flagg, the 6'9" freshman out of Newport, Maine, takes us for a trip down memory lane when we come back.
A lot of people from my family and friends drive down from Maine and be able to perform in front of them was a great experience. Boston was a huge part of my upbringing in basketball, so just all those drives, it meant a lot to me, and then be able to come out here and hoop, it meant a lot too, to be able to go to the game and then come out here and have a performance like this with my team.
Cooper Flagg, after the victory at Boston College, at 28. Talking about Larry Bird, his favorite legend to look up to, has almost 1 million followers on Instagram. Not bad for a newly turned 18-year-old. And by the way, the GPAs came out after the first semester, and he's only pulling a 4.0.
It's consistent with everything else about him, right? It's the discipline that is applied everywhere. I'm just most impressed by the maturity in this sense. He is incredibly mature in terms of his feel and instincts in the game. That's what's most remarkable. The skill set, yeah, it's obvious. He's a great player, but it's all, again, things you don't see that make him great.
19 points, 8 rebounds a game. Some of his very best games have been against Duke's highest-ranked opponents. Shot clock down to 7. Knipple off the fake on airborne. Flagg open for a triple. Can't nail that. And Wake comes away with a rebound. Wake Forest has won 6 consecutive games. Duke has won 12 in a row, but Wake without a point in over 3 minutes.
I just wrote something down in the break. It was just said attack gaps in space and watch the Wake defense converge, and that's exactly what Duke's been able to do. They've gotten really good, what I refer to as clappable misses, good looks that they just didn't get to fall. You can build upon those. Those create rhythm. They create a chase from the defense, so continue to get those good looks. Wake's got to be careful getting 2 guys on the basketball with length and strong passers for Duke.
Man to watch for the Demon Deacons, certainly number 23, Hunter Salas, had 29 against them last year in the victory on this floor. And they stormed the court. Shot clock down to 5. Knocked away. Proctor up against Salas one-on-one. Went for the bank and came up empty. Loose ball back to Proctor. And a second effort now for Duke. Knipple, the freshman. Flag scoring 22 a game in their 5 road victories. Shot clock again to 3 as Knipple launches way downtown, and no. He's been cold lately.
Yeah, good start defensively for Wake. As I said, you got to be cautious of bringing 2 guys to the basketball because of the weapons around the perimeter. But a good base defense to start. And try to make Duke board. That's a good start.
Efton Reed, the 7-footer. On the back down, banging, and a travel. Bolowicz sticking right with it. John Shire, year number 3 for Duke. His team leading the nation in average victory margin, beating opponents by 22 points per game.
Well, look, they're great on offense and they're great on defense. Usually what happens is you blow people out. Maybe you wanted more analysis than that, but
that'll go the other way at an offensive. So really, for both teams, 6 minutes in, a pretty choppy start with a total of 7 points.
I would have thought letting them play a little bit more allows both teams to get up and down the floor a bit more, feel the game out. I would say the choppy start is the best possible thing for Wake Forest, who only has 2 points on the board right now. That 5 for Duke could easily be 15.
Caleb Foster on, the 6'5" sophomore. Bolowicz just picked up his first foul. And right now, a game with no rhythm on either side. Harris back for Hildreth. He's coming off 20 against North Carolina and a big win on this floor this week. Oh, great instincts there by Flagg. Unable to keep it in play, but knocked it out.
I mean, Cooper Flagg's instincts, you know, you can't have a camera on him the whole game, but I think he'd be a fun watch. Because what you're watching is the eyes. He's seeing things happen behind him, in front of him. He's anticipating it. And again, those are the things you don't see that make him great.
Coop Cam, we've got to get you in some production meetings. Here comes Hildreth with a long one. That clangs away. And again, no points in over 5 minutes for Wake Forest.
I don't think I have that much pull yet.
We're working on it. We're working on it. Great to have you here. Of course, the Hall of Famer Dick Vitale was going to be here for this game and had a mishap at home, but he's recovering very quickly. And the legend will be back courtside soon enough. Here comes Flagg on the drive with the left hand.
It's so hard to defend because you have to take the shot away.
Hildreth fast on the other end to answer. Yeah, Wake fans are saying it's about time.
Still think Wake has to be careful. The quick shot is good because it's a made basket, but if you get into an up and down contest, it quickly goes the other way.
Watch loses the dribble. Proctor hit the deck. He's slow to get up. Shot clock down to 7. Gillis will attack. And another foul on the deck before the shot.
Here we go. A little Cooper Cam here. I mean, just you watch this guy play with such a simple grace and poise. You forget at times he's the best player on the floor, and in a way, like a mob boss, he's just kind of manipulating all the things around him. What you miss is the simple ball fake as he catches. What it does is it gets Efton Reed, the big, to hold. It opens up the left, and he drives right there for a layup. It's just good stuff.
He very well be the best player in the country right now.
I'll say he is.
Here's Harris to kick it out. Salas has been very quiet so far, coming in averaging 19 points a game. First team All-ACC last year. And on the Jerry West shooting guard watch list. He can explode for 30 any night. 5 to get off a shot now. Johnson. Harris with a shot clock down to 1. And Flagg converging, batted it away. 0.5 on the shot clock.
I'll tell you what has a cumulative effect is, you know, length for sure. But the fact that Duke's already gone to 8 guys, like 8 guys already in this game, they can wear you down in a variety of ways. And the biggest piece to me is, as a guy who played this game, is length wears you out. Length can close gaps that you thought were open. And while my legs are tired and I can't close the gap physically, their length does it for it. So to be able to go 8, 9, 10 deep, and really not lose a step. Goodness.
Just time for a tip here. Turn and shoot, and could not get that one to go, and picked off by Proctor. Gillis Did he get away with something there? The crowd thought he did. Under 12 here in the first half. Very low-scoring first half to this point. Proctor with some contact, popped it up there, and a lot of iron, but it dropped anyway.
Good job by Wake getting the defense set. The zone at least disrupts the rhythm in the game. Duke had to take 5-10 seconds just to figure out how to attack it.
Tyler Johnson looking for the penetration. Harris wants to drive it off the window, and that was up against Flagg.
I'll take it, but I wouldn't commit to getting that every single time down floor.
Foster calls a play here for number 2 Duke. Auburn still number 1 in a big matchup with Tennessee coming up tonight. The kick and a sweet shot there by Gillis.
Gillis has grown a lot. He came from a program where they ran a lot of stuff. They fed the ball inside. I think he's had to adjust to the way this Duke team plays. Spaces the floor, a lot of read and react, good communication. He's grown a lot over the last few weeks.
Wake Forest held to 6 points to this point, and a turnover on the Harris pass out of bounds.
Tyrese Proctor. Allen Iverson did this. He just said, get it up on the rim, give it a chance, right? Don't get blocked, get it on the rim, touch every piece. Counts for 2. Duke's starting to find it. Wake's got to find a way to score.
Back at Wake Forest, and the number 2 Duke Blue Devils had the lead 12-6. Ken Palm says Duke is number 1 in the country. John, a huge part of that is how good they are defensively. They're showing that so far.
Yeah, I think some of it's length, some of it's communication. I think there's also a part of it that comes from the fact that they understand how to play offense. And when you're really good instinctually on the offensive end, when you understand spacing, you know how to take it away on the other end. So there's the trust they have behind them. That's the understanding of what good offense is all about and how to limit it on the opposite side. I wrote a couple things down that I said for Wake. You got to dictate the way the game's played. You got to dictate the game. You got to force Duke to constantly find it. They've done that so far by switching defenses. They've got to continue to do that by slowing down at times. And a foul every now and then's not a bad thing.
Flag at the foul line. Dishing that one and a whistle. Ted Valentine hopping in.
He doesn't just mosey in,
no,
ever.
Races or hops in. Dunk by the 6'11 freshman took the hit. 10:24 to go in the first half. And fouled by Juke Harris, who picks up number 2.
It's always humbling when there are still officials officiating that officiated you in college like 20-some years ago. They look like that. He still looks good.
Teddy Valentine looks great.
Looks great.
Tremendous shape. As the freshman from Manassas, Virginia, knocks in the first one.
You don't see a let up from Duke when they go to the bench. It just looks a little different. I think it just adds to how tough it is to not only play, but to prepare for a team like this.
You know, we've had some shots of the student section. It was packed in here in that section 2 hours before the opening tip, but they've been forced to sit on their hands a little bit the last 3 or 4 minutes. Robertson giving it off for Reed. Up on the high post, here's Salas. Will he start to get going offensively? Certainly trying with that mid-range, but he can't connect. He is 0 for 2 shooting it in the early going. James off the flag. Yes, that's 2.
It's an interesting lineup that Jon Scheyer's got where it puts Cooper Flagg in a situation where he's really got to be the 2 guard. I mean, look on the floor in terms of shooters and scores. He's basically playing the 2. They go to a pin down. He just curls and shoots over the top.
We said the first, 8 or 9 minutes, there was no rhythm, but now Duke has found theirs, and they're on a 7-0 run. Here's Hildreth. Can't connect, around and out, and a whistle. And yet they have not, Wake Forest, hit a 3 yet. They remain 0 for 4. Wake at 15-4, 7-1 in the conference. They've won 6 in a row. They're 10-0 at home. Right now, Joe Lunardi says they're a bubble team.
Probably a bubble team. This would be significant. I think what hurt them was the high expectations coming into the non-conference season and in some way under-delivering. I had them at Texas A&M, and they didn't score 50 points. So finding offense was a challenge, but every year is going to be a unique challenge where you come in wanting to play a certain way, but you have to adapt and adjust to your personnel and the realities you deal with.
That's what Steve Forbes said he's had to do. Hildreth on the drive, denied. Knipple sticking right with him. Duke's defense continues to be superb. Wake's got 6 points.
You think you have a line, you take it, but they converge so quickly, and then they're able to contest. I love the fact that we allow the wall up. You see more plays at the rim. Well, that favors a team like that has a length like Duke.
Wake Forest 3 for 14. Fredrickson, he can help. Stepping back beyond the 3, nothing there. Shot clock down to 1. Here's the heave, and that won't go. And a rebound back to the Duke Blue Devils. Here they come, building on a 10-point advantage. To midcourt, and a save by Gillis. Gillis open, straight on. And another foul here with 8:48 to go. In the opening half here, Winston-Salem.
Just watch Duke locked in defensively. Now, a big piece of this is communication. Really, when you communicate, I'm talking really guys on the backside, you communicate, you understand, you got to hold your ground, you force the toughest shot possible. It's not about stopping every shot opportunity. It's about forcing the ones that they don't want to take. That wears you out, too.
Knipple just picked up his first. Isaiah Evans ready to come back for Duke here in a moment. Fredrickson denied. Knipple right on him. They do get it downstairs for the big, but the 7-footer misses it. They've missed 5 in a row. Proctor. Double up on him, and he'll take a hit. And Ted Valentine correct on this one. A shot to the face of Tyrese Proctor.
That was good surge in terms of the push offensively, led by Cooper Flagg. He pushes it up. They move the basketball a little bit. There was no stop reset. That's what you have to continue to do. Don't allow a reset if you're Duke. If you're Wake Forest, force them to stop. Force them to reset. Look at the bench, figure out what they want to do. But yeah, it's going to be a contest physically to get out of here tonight. Officially counts it tonight, right?
Getting there. Proctor will lay that one off the iron. Rebound tapped out high. Evans comes away with it. Knipple trying to get around Hildreth, and he gets him with the body. And 8:01 left, John, here in the first half, and that is going to be 3 fouls on Cameron Hildreth, the point guard, and this is significant.
So part of it is guys get tired, they get a step behind the play, but they're also chasing the play because of the spacing and the balance on the floor. You bring Evans in, that's another guy you have to be aware of. Presence of mind, scouting report, what do I do? Don't leave him, right? So you space even further. When you get in a scramble situation, you're chasing the play.
Knipple shooting 2, excellent foul shooter, 89%. You mentioned he did not score in their victory at Boston College. He was 0 for 5 from the field, but they always seem to have a guy like a Tyrese Proctor step up. He got 20 in that game.
Really, it could be anybody. It could be Evans, it could be Proctor, it could be Knipple. I mean, Mason Gillis could give you 10, 15 points on any given night.
Just grabbed the rebound and threw it away. Johnson over the top, and a slam by Salas. And they need a shot of life, desperately.
The key with that, the transition opportunity, you get an easy one, it allows you to get your defense set. I was wondering if they'd get back in zone after that.
Knipple on the move, and will draw the foul. About 7.5 to go. Hunter Salas rising up and up and up for this slam.
You've got to take all the easy ones you can get. Tyler Johnson almost threw one away late against Carolina, connected on this one.
A couple of dandies coming up at ESPN. A quadruple header today, rolling on at Allen Fieldhouse. Number 12 Kansas taking on number 7 Houston. And then we cap the day with number 1 Auburn and number 6 Tennessee. It looks like Broome is going to try to play despite the bad ankle. And if he does, Bruce Pearl says it's restricted minutes tonight.
Yeah, good to get him back. You know, you don't want to lose rhythm in the midseason. I'm just looking at the little numbers, and you just wonder at what point we have a new number 1.
Duke knocking on that door.
I think so.
Knocking loudly on that door. Knipple inside. Denied. And a good shutdown there by Wake. They need a lot of those. Tyler Johnson on the run. You'd like to see him get involved in a big way today.
Yeah, and it's like directly, indirectly, where you just got to get into the paint. Or just watch the defense move. You know, create a chase. That's probably not the one, but it goes in.
And a hit as well. He'll go to the line looking for a three-point play.
The heck do I know? I mean, he's the guy that can get where he wants to go on the floor. That's the reason why Steve Forbes said, look, you know, come Christmas, he realizes I really got to play this guy. He really hadn't gotten him as polished as he wanted him to be. He's going to have to learn on the fly because he needs a guy that can break you down off the bounce, get into the paint, watch the defense converge, and start to read and make the right plays. Making the right play is going to be the key.
Proctor with his second personal. Tyler Johnson, 6'4" sophomore out of Brooklyn, the Louisville transfer, who has worked his way into the starting lineup, around and out, so no three-point play there. And defensively for Wake. Now, this is the difference in Wake Forest this year. They believe they've become an elite defensive team. John Shire was talking about the scouting report on them this week. He agrees.
I think sometimes it's out of necessity. When you're not able to score the ball the way you wanted to, when you're not able to play with the pace that you wanted to play, you've got to be a good defensive team if you want to compete at a high level.
Flag had it ripped away. Now a loose ball. And another tie-up. Evans hit the deck. And Reed thought that Wake Forest had a timeout there. Was about to call a timeout, but that's not the case. 6:40 to go. Possession arrow will keep it on this end. And Duke by 7. And Wake Forest finally getting to 10 points. That took forever.
Yeah, it took forever to the point where I think it makes the game choppy and sloppy. It limits the rhythm of the game, which limits Duke's ability to really find and establish themselves in the game. Part of the reason Duke has 17 is because Wake only has 10.
Salas. Salas wants badly to get it off. Shot clock down to 11. Long one coming and off the back iron by Fredrickson. The threes just won't fall for Wake Forest, and that means for the entire season.
He's also heavily contested by Cooper Flagg, who got out there. They're going to call offensive.
On Cooper Flagg. This one goes against Duke. And they're getting very physical with him.
Yeah, I think that would be my challenge. Is like, well, you're allowing physicality, but not that. Yeah, probably foul. Sell it, you get it. It's a foul.
6:20 to go. That's number 1 on Flagg.
Who has the presence of mind to attack him off the bounce? And can you get the matchup you like to be able to attack him off the bounce?
Johnson steps back for a triple. Can't nail that. Reed with a big rebound, straight up and one. He'll be headed to the line. Efton Reed III, the 7-foot senior. Suddenly a 6-0 run for Wake Forest.
And that was all set up by good ball screen action, and it was Efton Reed holding the screen, possibly holding it a little too long. I saw John Shire calling for a foul, but because of the fact that he held the screen, it left Malawach on the backside. Efton Reed just rolled in. He had defensive rebounding position when the shot went up. Sometimes as a guard, if you read it right, you see that if you get a shot up, your guys are in position to rebound because of the good action around the perimeter. It's not really a bad look.
Malawach off to the bench with 2. And Reed at the line, 70%. And so life here for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They have pulled to within 4. James with a bounce for Flagg. Flagg sliding in, banks it in, and he'll be headed to the line. Cooper Flagg looking for a three-point play.
The patience, the poise, the ball fakes, head fakes, pump fakes, ball fake, whatever it's going to be, he gets you off balance. And part of the off balance is the backside, the baseline defender, right? You're going to roll here, and you stay on the opposite side. Flagg is patient enough to make sure defense vacates. He also is a great passer, so you can't fully commit to the basketball. That's actually pretty good defense outside of the foul because it forced a tough angle layup. You can live with that even if he makes it. You just don't need the foul.
Flag talking with Ted Valentine here, and I think the point is a lot of physical play. There's been a lot of holding early on, but Ted hearing him out as the veteran official he is. And so Cooper Flag.
Wait, Ted was hearing him out?
He did. He actually did listen very
Cooper
patiently.
may have been hearing Ted out.
And there he was with a three-point play. So Flag is 4 for 7. The rest of the Duke team is 3 for 12.
What a bad spot to be if you're covering Cooper Flag. Top of the key, where the paint starts to open up. You can't win that battle. You just hope he misses.
Flag with 9. Reed looking to operate out of the double. And stolen away by Duke. They take it away from the 7-footer. 2013, the number 2 team in the country, up 7. Here's Knipp with a launch, but too strong. His last couple of games have been rocky for him. He had a 25-point game against Miami before that.
I think he's got to find the shot he likes, not the one he gets.
Harris leaning in, and a tough drive will draw the foul. The freshman been playing pretty solid minutes, about 17 a game. He draws the personal on Sion James.
There's a lot going on here, man. This has been a battle. The challenge for that is, look, Efton Reed's going to have to play more minutes than any of the Duke bigs are. So 40 minutes of this physicality, it could be really, it could be a grind for Wake Forest.
Yeah, Reed, not a big scorer, only about 8 points a game.
But an active screen.
Yes.
And he's been good there.
And it can block a shot. Good rebounder. And Harris with a misfire. So under 5 to go. Tonight, Tennessee and Auburn. It's a clash in the absolutely brutal SEC on a big day of college basketball on ESPN. Flag looking to go around the back. Got free. James will fire it up and swish it in from three-point land.
I have no idea how simple he made a complicated thing look. Right, all the pressure on the ball. First off, he's playing point guard right now. All the pressure on the ball, a simple ball fake. He's able to make that skip pass, and Sion James gets a rhythm 3.
Johnson knocked away. Gungpa with the deflection. Flag getting it downstairs on the break, then he crashes the glass. It comes free, and it's off of Wake Forest.
Just can't say enough. I mean, he's looking right at Tyrese Proctor, gives him a simple ball fake, makes the skip pass to the corner. I mean, again, he makes the simple thing, or the complicated simple. Things you don't see is what makes you great. We talk a lot about the things you see, but his feel and instincts in terms of manipulating the game.
His three-pointer won't drop. And Wake with it, trailing 23-14. Salas had a massive dunk a few minutes ago. He's going to draw a foul by James.
Really smart. I think quick shots for Wake are probably not the best thing, but when you have the presence of mind to get the clock stopped and get a foul, end up at the free throw line, smart play, Hunter Salas.
This came in hot, 6 in a row in ACC play under Steve Forbes, and being the old pitcher that he is, this is how we describe a big win over North Carolina this week.
But I think it says a lot about him when you don't have your fastball, but you still got something there. You know, you got a little good slider, decent change, and you figure out how to win.
Which pretty much describes his pitching repertoire when he was in school. He told us I probably threw about 86. You know, I'd have to drop down, sidearm once in a while. I had to fool people.
Yeah, I kind of picture Steve Forbes as the pitcher with like Vaseline on the cap, pine tar on the hip, and like a pound of chew in the back pocket.
Yes. And just mowing people down.
Just making them look silly.
He's a big baseball guy. He's dying to get to Dodger Stadium. We were talking about major league ballparks he's been to. Last year in April, he went to Fenway, and it was like 35 degrees. He had the time of his life. He'd never been there before. I said, go someplace warm now. You've done Fenway Park, which is unbelievable. Now go out west and do Dodger Stadium.
The fact that he played 4 sports in high school. In Iowa, they play baseball in the summer.
Yeah.
because of the weather. Never really thought of that. Ran track, football, basketball. Talk about a ship that has sailed. 4 sport guys. Well, there's some 4 sports guys. They're just not that good.
Not very good in any of them, really, yeah. Shot clock down to 10. Knippel's open from the corner and got a great look for the 3.
Yeah, that had rhythm, right? If you watch his feet into that shot, you got to get shot ready. Shot ready is not just your eyeballs and hands, right? It's your feet. You watch his feet into that shot. The feet determine whether the shot's going to go in as much as anything else.
And if he starts to shoot it again, and that seems to be only a matter of time, look out. Here's Johnson. As we approach the 3-minute mark, he saw an opening there. Knippel shut it down. Shot clock to 3. Off the back iron, that won't drop by Harris. Gillis on the run. In for 2.
Those are the ones you have to eliminate. That's why there's a timeout if you're Wake Forest. You cannot give up easy opportunities in transition. Good defense for Duke. Rebound, run out, easy layup, timeout.
Tap into Etsy for original and affordable home and style pieces like lighting under $150 to brighten your vibe. For under $100, put your best look forward with vintage jackets. Or pick up custom shelving for under $50 to make space without emptying your pockets. And get cozy with linen robes for $75 or less. For affordable home and style finds to help you welcome whatever's next, Etsy has it.
Coming up, the Jeep halftime report. Reese, Seth, and Jay will be talking about another Vandy dandy. They're fast becoming the talk of college basketball. And will Broome be back for #1 Auburn? I heard a couple of the analysts today on ESPN discussing this and saying, yeah, they do believe he'll be back. I heard Jimmy Dykes talk about that today during that great win for Vandy and how much he'll play exactly. Of course, he is up for Player of the Year. He's been sensational when healthy. Getting it down for Reed out of the double. Harris. Harris wants the baseline. Nicely done.
Much room to work against Duke, but when you have it, you've got to capitalize. Good execution out of a timeout, too. That makes coaches feel good about the job they're doing.
Well, it's not been a scoring fest, not by a long shot, but Duke up 28-17. And a travel here on Knippel as he dragged the foot.
We're talking about Knippel finding a rhythm as a shooter, and it's really the feet. You watch the feet. There it is. I mean, that's good rhythm, stepping into the shot. Shot ready means you're preparing for the shot before you get the basketball. There's a reason why those goes in. They become high percentage shots from 3.
Harris back for Salas. Knippel on him. Reed, nice pass, but they're going to wave that off and a foul underneath. With 2:04 to go, they're getting ready for a big-time slam dunk.
It's going to be 2 on Cooper Flag. He's there. I mean, he's just right there to take it away. I would let it go. Like, as much as we let go, you know.
You let that go.
You let that go.
Definitely. So his second foul, 9 points for him. Also turned it over 5 times. It'll be Reed to the line.
He turns it over, but you understand he's got the ball more than anybody else. So I can live with some of his turnovers. And he's also shown the ability to grow from them.
And Reed will sink that. Our featured ESPN2 Big Monday. It's women's basketball. #2 South Carolina in Knoxville to take on #17 Tennessee at 7 o'clock Eastern. Don Staley's team coming off a big win against LSU.
LSU talking about what it's like to go up against 10 All-Americans.
That's right.
Hey man, more money, more problems. You still have to figure out those challenges.
So under 2 to go in the first half. Duke has done a pretty darn good job of keeping this crowd at bay.
They've struggled to adjust to the zone. I mean, you can see it just run 15, 20 seconds of trying to figure out what we're doing offense.
Flag with a turnaround. Oh, what a great pass underneath for Gumbo.
Maybe just get Flag the ball inside the paint sooner.
Seems to work. Johnson back for Salas, who's really yet to cook in this one. Harris, and blocked away. Gungba got a piece of that and a whistle now. Ted Valentine blowing the whistle with 1:23 left in the half.
He gets so much attention, but I go back to the poise. What's he reading? Well, he's reading where the defender came from, and he's reading whether any defender took that block away. And the answer is no, so he makes the right pass, and you get an easy layup. And he makes the game, when he plays it right, he makes the game look simple. And the reality is, it is a simple game.
Harris at the line after the Gungba foul, his second.
Harris has played with good energy.
He has.
We talked about having hope and a degree of fearlessness. Harris has kind of embodied the fearlessness we're talking about.
And he scored 17 against NC State.
Apologize for the broadcaster jinx. Gave him a little love, missed 2 free throws.
30-18. In the corner, Gillis. Rebound tapped around by Duke. Harris got there first. On the drive, and he's hit and fouled. Foul will go on Caleb Foster.
I mean, look, you want to look for buy-in, you want to look for confidence, you want to look for guys that are going to get excited for one another. I think the key to me is Cameron Hildreth. He's off the floor, he's got 3 fouls. You can't really impact the game from the bench other than being a leader, so he needs to be that leader on the bench right now, getting everybody up off their feet.
To your point, Wake with 1 made field goal in about 6 minutes with their point guard on the bench for a long sit. The 6'4" Englishman out of Worthing, England. Wake, the only school in the ACC this season to have 2 different players score 30 in a game. Hildreth had 31 against Miami, and Salas 30 against Stanford. So back to a 10-point game with a minute to go before the break. Flag downstairs, back out, Knipple. Yes, nothing but net.
That was just great execution. Sent a little baseline screen to get Cooper Flagg the ball, and then immediately kick out for another in-rhythm 3 for Knipple.
Salas with a pull-up from 3. They just can't hit those 3-point shots. Wake Forest has been dreadful all season from 3-point land, and they're 0 for 9 today. Flag gives up the dribble. Knipple stepping in the lane, banks in 2. And Shire wants a timeout with 10.5 to go.
How about the pick and roll, where your quote point guard setting the screen for your quote 4-man? Good luck stopping that. We'll be back. What makes Duke so difficult to defend? Well, when Cooper Flagg's your ball handler, you're bringing up a ball screen from Knipple. Now, Knipple is your short roll guy. It just challenges the general principles of defense when you kind of in so many ways invert everything. Most teams prepare and say, here's how we're going to cover the ball screen. Well, it's a 5-man set the ball screen for a point guard. What do you do when Cooper Flagg's receiving the ball screen and can pass over the top?
Salas will drive this one and slam it in the closing seconds of the first half. Duke with an opportunity with a heave, and this one won't go. And we are at the break. Wake only 22 points, their second lowest number in the first half this season. So Duke looking comfortable at 35-22 here at Winston-Salem. To the studio, Reese, Seth, and Jay coming at you. We get set for the second half here at Winston-Salem. Duke on top 35-22 over Wake Forest. Every dog will have his day. That Pooch certainly did at the break here. We're getting ready for the second 20 minutes. Dave O'Brien alongside John Christman. We're talking about Duke playmaking.
Yeah.
And it looks like a team, it's more than just one. They can play it 2 or 3 different ways, right?
And they're connected. That's the other thing. They're connected. They're unselfish. It reminds me a little about that Kentucky team that won a national championship. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Anthony Davis. They were unselfish to the point where they looked for one another. They tried to make the game easier. And the Cooper Flagg thing, he's able to get everybody else involved to the point where he's going to stop getting doubled. He's going to stop getting all the attention, and next thing you know, he's got 10, 15, 20 points in the second half. On the other end, for Wake, you just have to make it a grind. You've got to be tough. I thought Harris was really good. Didn't score a bunch, but he was tough. He was aggressive. There was a fearlessness with which he attacked. That's what you're looking for. You have to just throw all bets off, right? Kick off the training wheels if you're Wake. Dictate the way the game's played, be the tougher team, and force Duke to make plays and make shots to win.
Our game track brought to you by E-Trade from Morgan Stanley. Knippel with 12 points, 3 out of 6 from three-point land. That's a great sign for Duke. He had been scuffling with his shot, but he's getting it together.
And I think getting them the right shots is the best way to help a shooter find rhythm. Got one in the corner, just didn't have good rhythm. He missed pretty badly, and then he got good looks. He got him to go.
Duke did turn it over 10 times in the first half. But leading 35-22.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg 5 of them.
Yep. Bottled up. Proctor trying to get free out of the double. And they're going to keep it on this end. Duke will retain possession. Opening seconds here in Winston-Salem. Duke trying to make it 13 consecutive wins. They are 8-0 in the ACC for the first time since 07-08. Knippel looks to get it in and does. Cooper Flagg in the corner. The jumper coming from James, but that didn't touch anything. Wake Forest started the ball game today missing a lot of shots. They're trying to get this big crowd involved. The students are dying to be involved. Hildreth playing with 3 fouls now, and a whistle and a foul. Malawatch, the 7'2" freshman from South Sudan, and we'll pick up number 3.
Maybe starting to call it a little tighter to start the second half. I think the key for Wake is going to be get your starting group established in this game. They really were never able to do it with Cameron Hildreth's 3 fouls.
Salas with a pull-up. Got it.
That mid-range game is so nasty. Does a good job of creating space, and in a way, we've almost been convinced that's a bad shot. Maybe it's a bad shot for some, but not for Hunter Salas.
Salas coming in at 19 points a game. That's the same as Cooper Flagg. Kept that foot on. The dish downstairs and a whistle. And a foul on the deck set, Ted Valentine.
He passed up a good look. I felt like he passed up a good look to get a better one, but this is just nice stuff. I mean, creates just enough space to get that 15, 16, 17 footer, which again, we listen to people, it's a bad shot, whatever, it went in, it was a good look.
Reed his second foul. Knippel can't drain that one.
Still like Duke playing through Cooper Flagg at the top. He was able to pick apart the defense. The ball fakes on the passes to the paint on the roll, opens up a pass out to a guy like Sion James in the corner.
Tyler Johnson from the elbow, no. Rebound batted around, Duke comes away. Tyrese Proctor, 6'6" junior, off the Flagg with a jumper, well short. And Wake Forest will let that one roll out of play.
Does the air ball taunt on Cooper Flagg really have the same impact? Like if I shoot an air ball, it hurts a little when I hear it, right? Because I don't really do anything else that well. I just don't think he's sweats it as much.
I'm not sure he sweats at all.
I don't think he does.
Here's Hildreth trying to be a factor in the second half. Had a long sit in the first half. In foul trouble for Salas. Up it goes. Got it, a 3.
Hunter Salas kind of gets his game going with the mid-range. I overuse the term rhythm, but also feel like I don't say it enough. I mean, he creates a rhythm off the bounce, and then he looks for that next shot. Shoots it with confidence.
It was their first made 3. Proctor with an answer on the other end. He tried anyway, but came up empty. Here's James to launch. That missed ugly. See if Salas gets another touch here. He's asking for the ball. Hildreth with a bounce feed in. The slam by Spillers.
You said this crowd is asking for something to get excited about. They got it. Great start to the second half for Wake Forest. Good defense. Hunter Salas gets it going. Cam Hildreth, I thought he was going to go back to Hunter Salas, but what a great find. Probing, back cut. All good things happened to start the second half for Wake Forest. You said it, man. You need to get something going to get the crowd going. Spillers will do just that. On the last play, I really undersold it in a moment where Wake Forest is really, I don't say dominated, but they've controlled the start of the second half. I also want to make the point, Dick Vitale, there's so many of us out there that thank you because you created the industry we get to be a part of. You did it with sincerity. You actually care about the product we put out there, and you love the game.
Here, and the biggest heart you're going to find anywhere. We love him so much. This is the closest Wake has been since he was 17-13. And Salas lost the handle on it. Came off his hand, out it went, so they turned it over.
If you're Wake, you can't have empty possessions right now. You've got energy in the building, yet you have to build upon it. You got to keep this crowd into the game. The crowd ain't going to win the game, but it sure helps.
Knippel off the fake, steps back. Got it back somehow. Flag with it. Proctor, and a whistle off the ball. With 16:21 to go.
What's happening over there? Like, it's a complete opposite side of the play, and if that's Hildreth,
that is going to be number 4 on Hildreth.
4 on Hildreth.
Look at that. Any edge you can get.
Yeah.
Trying to keep Flag at bay.
But you know, you're watching the action on one side, and you got bodies flying all over the place on kind of some opposite side action, and Hildreth picks up his 4th. I mean, that's where you just have to know you can't do something silly. Let's keep an eye. Hildreth on your left side. He's going to fight over. I mean, it's on Hildreth.
Took down a 7-footer with the hook. Flag. And he will draw the foul. Cooper Flag on the move. Flag, by the way, hasn't scored about 9 minutes from the tail end of the first half to this, but Steve Forbes has lost his point guard again. So they started to get it going offensively, started to get the crowd involved, and bang, there's number 4. He's on the bench again.
Talk about how effective he was against Carolina. And look, I said to Steve Forbes, I felt for Steve Forbes down the stretch. They really could have won that game by 10 and almost gave it away. Cam Hildreth was great. And they really haven't had him much at all here in this contest so far. Is he a boxer or a basketball player?
Doing a lot of bleeding over there. That's for sure. Rounding out by Flag, who just scored his first points in quite a while. First point. 36-29, Duke.
I think with Flag, so much goes through him as an initiator that the scoring eventually comes. But it's once he's able to read how the game's being played.
Johnson back for Salas. Johnson again, the open 3. Rebound right to Proctor. So Wake Forest 1 for 11 beyond the 3-point line. Proctor making a move inside. No one picked him up or shut him down. He gets his own miss. That one batted around, and it will be Wake Forest ball. And with 15:34 to go in this contest, we will take the break with number 2 Duke on top. Here, Wake Forest 36-29 in the biggest game of the conference so far this season. Talk about the SEC, Tennessee and Auburn. Johni Broome missing the last couple of games with the ankle, expected to return. Huge news here for Auburn and Bruce Pearl.
Be interesting to see how they use him. I mean, maybe keeping him away from the post is more of a mover around the perimeter. Just getting him back into the rhythm of game play.
Our Sonic blockbuster tonight. This is a pretty good one to warm you up with, too. Reed trying to power his way inside, and a foul. 15:21 to go in the contest. Duke has owned the glass in this one. They have out-rebounded Wake Forest 30-17. Duke, the tallest team in the country. And for Proctor, his 3rd foul.
There's height, but there's just general length. They just cover so much ground, and you watch rebounds, and they're in for every rebound because of their length.
Harris with a spin to the baseline denied. Salas out high. Shot clock down to 7. Salas way downtown and missed badly. So Duke looking to build on a 36-29 advantage. They're up 13 at half. Foster to Flagg. The freshman back for Foster. Two really good defensive teams toe-to-toe. Flagg wants it, leaning in, left it short. Way to really buckle down on him.
The Spillers did a good job of gapping and really forcing the drive.
Johnson will pick up the foul.
You know, I think Cooper Flagg, if he's going to play in that triple threat, he's got to show the willingness to shoot the shot. He can certainly make that shot, but you have to get a defense to commit to the basketball, commit to contesting the shot. They've been sagging off him a little bit. I mean, look at the space. You're just gapping. If your Spillers, good physicality, you force a bad angle, and there's nothing there. I don't think Cooper Flagg's getting taken out if he pulls that through. You know? He's trying not to settle, but he's also got to take what they're willing to give you.
He's already been named the ACC Rookie of the Week 7 times.
I think he no longer qualifies for that award.
Just wanted to get 31, so within 5, Wake Forest. Malawatch looking for a guard here, gets it off here for Knipple. And he lost it on the dribble, and they reach in a foul too.
It was that fight. That's what we talked about. There's execution and playmaking on one end from the Duke standpoint, and then there's just a simple fight, a battle for Wake Forest. They've been physical defensively. They've struggled to really find consistency on the offensive end, but the fight's there, so they're staying in this game.
They've only turned it over 7 times. Here's Harris to launch. They've got a good look, too. Duke without a field goal this half. So they have been really chilly since the break. Proctor. Here's Foster trying to end that, and he can't. Rebound came right back at him. Straight on. That won't drop. Duke is 0 for 10 this half. Johnson getting it off for Harris. He knocks it down from three-point land.
It's got that feeling. Remember I mentioned clappable misses in the first half? The last Harris shot, he felt good about it. He had good body language in and after that miss. The next shot that was going up, he shot with confidence, and it went in.
It's a 12-1 run here for Wake. Proctor, good look. No. The misses keep on coming. And a foul here against Duke. 12:59 to go. And Wake Forest making a big run.
I think John Shire on the bench going to bring 3 new in. I think he's got to find the right lineup, right? Find the rotation that can give you a little energy, some made shots. Not a bad idea to maybe put Cooper Flagg in a different situation or position on the floor offensively. Maybe look baseline. He makes great plays out of the post. Force a double. It creates the double itself is an advantage because of Cooper Flagg's ability to pass out of it.
Malawatch his 4th foul, so without a point, he will sit. And Wake Forest with an opportunity to take the lead here. Will a 3 do it? Trayvon Spillers has put Wake in front of number 2 Duke, 37-36. On the drive, Knipple. He gets knocked to the deck. The follow, that won't go. Wake showing serious fight. Over the top and the slam for Spillers. And this place is going bonkers.
We asked for it, partner. We got it.
Duke has lost to Wake the last 2 times they've played in this building. It's a 17-1 run. Flag. Got it. And that'll quiet the crowd temporarily as he hits a 3. Tied at 39.
How about Wake really starting this with good defense? And now they're playing with confidence. The attack offensively, they're getting good looks. Wake has shifted this entire game. Duke is rattled.
And Knipple just threw it away. 11:33 left. And Wake Forest with a rousing run here.
We asked for a fight. Cameron Hilder can't do much about it. He's got 4 fouls, but he's all cut up. He's flexing, good energy on the floor, on the bench, in the arena. Wake Forest is feeling it. It's a basketball contest. I've got to think it goes the way of Duke. But if you turn it into a fight, you wake up your crowd, you give your team and your fan base hope, and you just put it all together. This is what Wake Forest has done in the second half. It has been an absolute battle, a fight. They've made Duke uncomfortable. They haven't let them do anything with comfort and confidence. And on the other end, you just ride the wave, you make plays. This place, for the first time really all day, woke up. And if Dickie V were here, he'd be out of his seat going crazy. Because the last few minutes have been fun. Maybe not for Duke.
Well, frankly, whether Dickie's on his feet or in his seat, he's going crazy.
He's going crazy.
Look at this end of the first half. A hot team, and 1 for 14 Duke since the start of this second half. But give Wake a lot of credit defensively, like the block by Reed that helped launch that fast break in the dunk.
I think you really got to get creative with where Cooper Flag is offensively. Shift the defense by moving him on the floor.
Johnson off the fake, drives it, and a foul. So a cagey move by the youngster. The sophomore from Brooklyn. That'll be Sion James' 3rd foul. So fouls on both sides starting to become a factor with 11 minutes to go. Johnson will shoot.
It's consistent with how the game's being played. You turn it into a fight. The stoppages because of fouls, it favors Wake Forest. Because what's going to happen here, miss or make, Wake's getting back, they're getting set. So the more Wake can make Duke play against the set defense, the more advantage they have.
Johnson second. Steve Forbes told us today when the season started, back in November, I wanted to play fast. I realized that wasn't a good way for us to go. I had to slow us down. So a game like this, where it is right now, is how they want to play. Flag, too strong. Salas out of the pack with it. He's knocked to the deck and a foul as Mason Gillis couldn't put on the brakes and floored him. And our Saturday primetime Rivals Week coming your way tonight at 8:30. Countdown crew will get it underway. We cap the night with LeBron and the Lakers taking on Steph and the Warriors.
10:56 left, and Wake shooting 1-1. You can control the game if you make free throws.
Salas, great foul shooter, but missed a couple of big ones against North Carolina that didn't cost them a win in the end this week, but some tense moments. Flag, they come in and try and converge on him, and a foul by Johnson as he reached in.
Fouls can be disruptive too. I mean, you talk about different ways to disrupt the game, maybe switching defenses, changing your ball screen coverage, which I think is you got to be really careful with against Duke. But sometimes the fouls, they become so annoying and they disrupt your whole rhythm.
James. One and done there. Johnson wants to push it every time down the floor. And that's going to roll in. He had some serious spin on that baby.
That didn't look like it had a chance to even get up, let alone go in.
Not a chance.
And now he's got a smile on his face.
And Wake has their biggest lead today against Duke. Out it goes as they throw it away. Flag has had problems with turnovers today.
It's been rattled, and a lot of it's coming from the outside in. I really do think that you've got to get creative, maybe put Flagg in a different position, allow him to see the floor from a different perspective, and maybe make plays from the block. They did it a couple times against the zone when they brought him along the baseline, and he was able to kick back out for open threes. Everything they're doing right now is Cooper Flagg from the top of the key in.
Duke has a long run of games where by this point in the contest, it's over. They've just been steamrolling people. Now they're down by 4 with 10 minutes to go on the road. Johnson with a crossover. Bounce feed. Harris. Got it! Tough shot.
I mean, look, I said it, right? Tyler Johnson is the guy that can get places. And getting someplace makes the defense rotate. It opens up cutting lanes, driving lanes, passing lanes. It gets the defense to shift to the basketball. All done by the guy that can get where he wants to go. This escalated quickly. Off the bounce. I mean, good sit down, right? And his eyes are up. And Harris, I said earlier, Harris is probably the toughest guy on the floor right now. Typically, that's Hildreth. He's on the bench with 4 fouls. Harris has been great in that sense. Don't care how much he's scoring, missed shots, made shots, doesn't matter. It's the fight you're looking for. That's what got you back in this game. That's what kept Duke from going on an immediate run to start the second half and closing the door on any sort of comeback. It's been the fight, and this crowd loves every bit of it.
Oh, they get louder and louder.
Go back a year, right?
Yes.
You go back a year, it's about fighting long enough to give yourselves a chance late. And next thing you know, they're storming the court. This crowd wants hope that that can happen again, and right now they have it.
And right now, Joe Lunardi says that Wake Forest is on the outside looking in for an NCAA tournament bid. Long way to go to Selection Sunday, but boy, if you pick off a team like Duke, you realize it's a home game, but Duke's a big favorite. Proctor with a triple coming. Boy, he got a great look, but can't connect.
He did, but Wake made the decision. We're going to allow that shot, but we're not going to allow Cooper Flagg to pick us apart.
You realize Duke is 1 for 17 in the second half shooting the basketball?
I do now.
Harris taking on Knipple with a step back. I think the house would have come off. Did he hit that one? Proctor penetrating and takes a hit, draws the foul with 8:55 to go.
Wake has just made everything choppy for Duke on the offensive end. I think some of it's been physicality. The other part of it has been that they've been able to get their defense set. And you make some shots, you get your defense set, you see the basketball, you're a better defensive team.
1 for 17 and 4 turnovers. Duke trying to pull it together. Knipple on the baseline, going in strong and denied by Reed. He shut him down. Big time block. Salas looking for the save, and he stepped on the line. It'll go back over to Duke.
Man, that's one of those unique opportunities in a game where that could have been a dunk for Knipple that really would have changed the feeling of this game. It goes the other way, and Salas loses it. Great opportunity there for Wake. You almost have to recognize the opportunity you have and at least get yourself a good look at the rim.
It's a great no call, too.
It's a good no call. God bless the wall up.
Flagg will he heat up in his last 8 minutes. Looking for help, gives up the dribble. Proctor's open again. In and out this time. And another whistle on the baseline with 8:13 to play. Duke is getting some good-looking shots. They're just not hitting them.
Well, they're getting good-looking shots because they're committing to Cooper Flagg. Wake is not letting Cooper Flagg pick them apart. In a way, they're committing to him early enough to force him to give it up as opposed to making a playmaking type of play. That makes sense to somebody out there.
Johnson's 3rd foul. Flagg will fire this one and knock it down.
Tough spot. I mean, that's just an ISO spot on the floor. His passing ability forces defenders to stay on their man. And that rise up and shot, I think that's been there from 3, and he's probably got to take it.
Duke with a 12-game winning streak on the line.
The length of this zone.
7:45 to go. Here's Salas, way too strong. Willis went for the save there on the baseline, and it will be Duke ball. So 45-41 our score. Down the stretch we come, and a dandy developing in Winston-Salem. In that class, and one of the great point guards you'll ever see there, Chris Paul. Yep. So we've seen some great games here, and Wake Forest has won the last 2 against Duke played here, and they're trying to pull it off again, leading by 4 with about 7.5 to go.
Clearly a lot of success here at home. 10-0 at home. They won the last one against Duke. It took them about a half of basketball to find the conviction and fearlessness to just let loose. I think Wake has since let loose, and they've dictated the way the second half's been played. 2 of 20 from the floor for Duke.
Yeah, just 1 for 12 from three-point land in the second half for the Blue Devils. Knipple wants to get closer and drops in 2.
They have the ability to do that. You're not going to get as much help on Knipple, so if he has the advantage, you've got to take it. Time Cooper Flagg away playing decoy.
Harris will turn and fire, and a lot of iron, but it'll drop down.
It's interesting to see Duke have to go zone. I mean, usually you do something like that out of necessity. Good passing to get the ball inside, touch every piece of the rim, and you get a bucket to go. But, man, when you start to get it rolling, those things, it starts to go your way. That's the way it's been for Wake in the second.
Duke Harris had a really good one, 14 points. He's played a heady game. Knipple off the fake. Shot clock down to 6. Now 5. And switched in by Gillis.
In a way, a bailout. Not a great possession for Duke offensively. Gillis gets that to go. Allows Duke to get their defense set, but Wake's been good picking apart the zone.
He has 8. 1-point game. 6 minutes to go. Proctor poked it away. Now the shot clock coming into play. Down to 5. Johnson will launch it. That clangs away. Opening the door for the Blue Devils to retake the lead on this possession. Cooper Flagg spinning, going in strong off the window for 2.
And that's exactly what Steve Forbes was concerned with, them getting into a quick ball screen action, forcing a switch. He got the matchup he liked against Tyler Johnson, then game over. Or at least possession.
Flagg was 17. And Duke up by 1. Harris again will turn. Can't hit the shot. Rebound comes out high, and a foul. He was with 9 on the shot clock.
Talk about making things look easy. I mean, this is kind of this is NBA right here. You just go to a ball screen early. You get the switch, you know what's coming, you get the matchup you like, it gives you the advantage, and Cooper Flagg makes a good poised decision, finishes at the rim.
Efton Reed III picked up foul number 3 to send Proctor to the line. Another good foul shooter for the Blue Devils at 80%. And a junior from Sydney, Australia, will have another one.
Hildreth comes in, Harris goes out. Harris has been great for him. But down the stretch, you tend to play the guys you trust the most, and Hildreth has earned that.
Senior certainly has. And he was so good at the line down the stretch against North Carolina, a 1-point victory this week. He was 10 for 12. So you want him in the game with the ball late.
Yeah, they shouldn't have mattered as much, but they did.
Salas pretty quiet the last 5 or 6 minutes. Hildreth shut off by Proctor. Got the pass free, and the shot won't go for Salas. Duke by 2 and the ball here. Blue Devils are 5-0 on the road in the ACC. Trying to keep that run alive too. So much on the line here today. Cooper Flagg penetrates and stuffs it with 2 hands. So now it's Duke on a 12-2 run.
Jon Scheyer is really scripting them into the right action that he wants to get Cooper Flagg the looks he needs.
Hildreth got a look, no. And Duke comes away again on top 51-47.
Duke's done a better job of using a little movement to get Cooper Flagg the ball in more of an ISO situation. Hasn't worked as well when he has it initiated and is just trying to make a play off the bounce, but here you got the matchup you want.
Working on Spillers, got around him, and Spillers will pick up the foul. Goes with 8 on the shot clock, under 4 minutes left. A low-scoring, gritty game in the ACC. And a foul will go on Spillers, his 3rd.
And look, down the stretch, who's it going to come down to? Well, it's likely going to come down to this guy, best player in college basketball, Cooper Flagg. He's going to earn it.
Been an eventful day in college basketball. Vandy beating Kentucky, Texas A&M losing to Texas, North Carolina surviving in overtime at Chapel Hill against Boston College, and this has been a terrific second half.
You got to think at this point in the season, teams start to figure each other out a little bit. You also hit that mid-season low where you forget we're vulnerable. Even Duke, we came in talking about how great they are, or how great they could be, but they're as vulnerable as anybody else, particularly if you have the right game plan and you execute. Wake Forest has done that in the second. Their energy brought them back into this game. They made just enough of plays to get the crowd into it. They fed off of it since. Now, Duke down the stretch, it's been Cooper Flagg, and that's likely how it's going to be. The more they can create movement, even if it's fake offense, right? A little camouflage action to get the defense moving, and then get Cooper Flagg the ball in space. Got to think Wake's going to have to defend him late.
Looking for his 20th point. And gets that. Coming up next, we've got number 7 Houston and number 12 Kansas. And then later on this evening, the number 1 team in the country, Auburn, taking on Tennessee.
Yeah. Houston, we're talking about a fight here. Go play Houston. Count your bruises.
21 for Cooper Flagg, who has 12 of Duke's 18 second half points. So when they're in trouble, they look to number 2.
Still think if you're Wake, you have to have poise here down the stretch. Don't be overly aggressive. Make the right play.
Johnson nearly gave it away. Shot clock to 10. Salas with a bounce feed. Down for Spillers. Doubled up. He'll spin and miss. And Flagg there to grab the rebound.
Duke's going to be calculated and patient on the offensive end. Now, part of that is they want to see what they're up against. Are they going to walk up against the zone? See man-to-man. Now they understand what they're going to get into.
Well, the freshman will take some time. Lost his footing. Will he lose the ball? It spins free, and that's what happens. Hildreth now playing with 4 fouls. Under 3 minutes. He penetrates, stripped and fouled on the play.
Good job by Wake Forest staying home on that defensive possession. You don't have to commit to the basketball, but you have to show it has the opportunity to make free throws.
Youngpo with the foul to put Hildreth at the line. He's very reliable. Duke hoping to come out of here 9-0 in the ACC. That was Hildreth's first 2 points of this half. He didn't play much at all in the first half. (53-49) Duke. Wake trying to get the crowd back in it. They were a big factor there for about 7 or 8 minutes when they surged into the lead. 10 to shoot. Youngpo in some trouble. Did get it free. Proctor nearly gave it up. Now he'll fire it. Got it from three-point land.
That's a killer if you're Wake Forest. You did almost everything right. Just got taken out of the play. A little bit too much of a gamble towards half court. Proctor ends up wide open. One guy had to cover 2.
Remember when Duke was 1 for 19 in this half? They're 6 for their last 6. They've become deadly.
And a lot of that's been, Cooper Flagg getting to the rim, making plays. And that's what they're going to rely on here down the stretch. And it's not just that you rely on his ability to make the play, you rely on his ability to make the right decision.
A Monday, the Huddle Crew will reveal this season's ACC football schedule. They'll break down each team and look at key weeks and specific matchups. Coverage of this 2-hour special begins at 9 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Oh, the yellow shirt's coming down. What's that mean, Obi?
And this is the reason why we flash back to last year and the crowd after the big upset and on the court. So for safety reasons, Jon Scheyer with some players injured there, and Wake Forest makes sure that does not happen again.
It's the right thing to do. If you don't want to do away with it, then you have to make sure you have to make it less dangerous.
Approaching 2 minutes to go. Tried to dump it downstairs for Reed, and Duke commits the foul. 2:06 to go.
It was good action, too. I mean, Ethan Reed set a good screen. Hunter Salas coming off on a little flare, and he made the right read. Just kind of slipped it to the basket.
Patrick Ungbo has been playing quite a lot with Malik Brown out with the knee injury. Going to be missing for several weeks. He picked up his 4th foul.
You just realize how important Wake's defense is on the offensive end. Like there are some teams that they get better defensively when they score. They need to see the basketball, that in a way dictating the way the game's played. Wake is doing that from the defensive end.
And they've held one of the great offenses in the country to 56 points to this point. Reed making 1 of 2, so a 6-point game.
Well, at one point we came out of a timeout and said Duke's 2 of 20 from the field.
Right.
And it wasn't that long.
They changed that. Oh, a strip. Johnson picks him clean. The handoff for Spillers, and he can't connect. Wow. Wake missed a golden opportunity after the turnover.
I mean, you look at the length, right? You know, you're going against Cooper Flagg. You can't really take it up. Spillers rushes the shot because of the length.
Duke trying to eke out a huge road win in the ACC here today. Knocked it back for Flagg. Shot clock down to 2. He fires and can't hit it. Rebound tipped out high. It is off Wake Forest with 1:16 to go.
That hurts if you're Wake. You did everything right. You forced a tough shot. Still feel like Flagg is settling a little bit too much. I mean, really not getting inside of the 3-point line.
Of course, in that case, the shot clock was about to expire.
In that case, yes. Talking about the entire possession. Where is he?
So he will take some time here to develop a play for Jon Scheyer. Flagg gets rid of it. Here's Gillis around and out. Reed fighting for the rebound, and the foul will go against the Duke Blue Devils again. And that's going to be number 5 on Gungba. So he has fouled out.
You've got Gungba, you've got Malawach, you got Flagg. Efton Reed's had to deal with every single one of them. You can't give that kid enough credit. Kid, man, like he has had to fight through all of it. An opportunity and a couple free throws with the clock stop.
So this will be 2 shots. And Wake Forest with 1:02 to play in their home building, trailing by 6.
And I know to a degree Steve Forbes is a little frustrated. He does want to play faster. But the best thing you can do as a coach is coach the team you have, right? And it's all about what gives my team the best percentage chance of winning games. And it's going to start on the defensive end. It may be to slow it down and switch your defenses from time to time and be disruptive that way. And they've done that tonight. Holding Duke to 56 points here with 1:02 left is pretty remarkable.
Telling you. Reed 70% at the line. The 7-footer from Richmond, Virginia. Trying to get them within 4. Wake Forest with a streak of their own. They've won 6 consecutive games in conference play. They're 7-1 in the ACC. Duke is 8-0. And Reed second on the money too.
The thing about Efton Reed is often, particularly against a team like Duke, bigs are a step behind the play. He is not.
Pressure from the Demon Deacons. Flag does get it in for Proctor. Flag gets it across. Gillis from the corner. Got it! He swishes it in. The three-pointer on the money.
You know, a lot of guys may not want to shoot that shot. Good for Mason Gillis. It's the best one you're going to get.
Johnson trying to rifle that pass inside. Spillers connects. And a timeout, Wake Forest, with 43.7 to go. And back to a 5-point game.
And the problem for Duke there is they got a great look and they got it to go, but they didn't immediately just get back and get set. They allowed some quick action and penetration to create an opportunity for a quick score for Wake Forest. Now timeout, 5-point game, 43.7 left. That's plenty of time.
Mason Gillis with a big one there. So Houston, Kansas is on ESPN News. It's starting there, and we'll follow this one on ESPN. 43.7 on the clock. We're talking about Mason Gillis. He's a grad, and between Duke and Purdue, he's played in 150+ college games and have the steadiness to take that shot, just absolutely drain it.
He's won a lot of those games too. I mean, you could argue that Purdue is a more successful program over the last 4 years than even Duke. I mean, so he understands what it takes to win. Great poise. He also is one of those guys that doesn't have to be the star. I mean, that's the roster creation we talked about with John Shire. I said, what are you most proud of? He says, probably that. You know, it's not just coaching the team. It's the team you assemble. Malik Brown, we haven't talked about him. To get him back, that's a game changer in terms of defense.
An elite defender. So Duke to put it in, 59-54. Flag doubled up, and they reach and foul him with 41.4 to go.
And that's another unique advantage you have with Cooper Flagg. I mean, quite often you inbound the ball there, it's a bad spot. Short corner, it's going to be a double. Cooper Flagg's able to see over the top, be strong with it. And he's the guy you want shooting free throws down the stretch anyway.
You're talking about roster construction. ESPN recruiting expert Paul Biancardi worked a powerhouse game yesterday, a prep game. I'm talking about, you know, looking ahead for Duke, and they will have National High School Player of the Year Cameron Boozer, 6'9", out of Columbus High School in Florida, the son of the former Duke great Carlos Boozer. Of course, won a championship in 2001 for Coach K. His twin brother Caden, the point guard, will also be going to Duke.
They got a good thing going where you fill it up with great young talent, and then you surround those guys with old winners, or guys like Sion James who will do whatever it takes to win at a high level, because he hasn't really yet experienced it, regardless of whether he deserves it or not.
The blood on the leg of Cooper Flagg here, so they will attend to that. That's the kind of game it's been.
Yeah.
It was rough and tumble, particularly in the first half, and the officials were letting the guys play, no doubt about that.
And that was certainly how it was to start the game. I feel like the second half, they started to call it a little tighter early, which I think is brilliant from an officiating standpoint, where you establish the way the rest of the half's going to be called, and then you let the guys play. But I think both teams have adjusted. It's really all you can ask for. I think it's been consistent across the board. We saw Cam Hildreth earlier. It looked like he was bleeding in 5 spots.
Looked like he had gone about 12 rounds.
Yeah.
So it'll be Flagg at the line, 81% foul shooter. And again, coming up big when it matters for the Duke Blue Devils.
You saw it earlier in the season. He wanted the opportunity to be the guy. I think where he's grown the most is he's understood now the responsibility of being the guy, and he's lived up to it.
Missed the second. 6-point game. Johnson. Hildreth shredding the D, going in strong, lost the basketball, and out it goes. 32.4. And it was tipped by Wake Forest. So 32.4 to go, Duke ball.
He just lost it. I mean, sometimes you look for contact before the rim, and that seems to be what he was doing.
In for Flagg. They quickly double. Got out of that nicely. James, and he'll kill some time. And a foul with 23.7.
You go back to Cooper Flagg getting the ball there. He's obviously not going to be covered by a guard, so he's likely going to be able to get open, and then he's able to pass over the top to Sion James, who was on the other side of the floor.
Salas with his first foul. And Con Knipple at the line, the freshman from Milwaukee, who makes 89%. Knipple, the number 19 in the 2024 ESPN Top 100 class, and made one. Wake's made only one field goal in the last 6 minutes. There's another one on a dunk by Hunter Salas. 16.4. Again, it's Gillis to put it in. Flagg cutting, knocked away by Hildreth. It'll be Duke ball.
It's probably going to be easier for Duke to get the basketball in now that they're set. Bad spot to be throwing it in. This is the advantage of having Cooper Flagg. I mean, just getting it in. I mean, you need size. Harris is going to be on Flagg.
Right in front of the Wake bench. And a timeout. So Duke takes one with 16.2 on the clock, leading 61-56.
Not a bad one to talk about now, given where you're inbounding the basketball. I mean, you almost at this point have to get something set up just to get the ball in bounds. You understand you're going to get fouled right away. I like the drive by Hunter Salas, too. That was purposeful. It was meaningful. It's probably been there more than he realizes. He really willed his way to the basket. I want to go back to what this Wake Forest team did to start the second half, though. We talk about Duke coming out in the second half and just blowing the doors off teams. They were not able to do it because this Wake team fought. They didn't have a lot going in the first half. They struggled to score, but defensively they really bought in. They locked down, playing without Cam Hildreth. Harris was terrific. And it kind of set the tone for how the whole second half was going to be played. Duke has never really been able to find it offensively, but they've been able to make enough plays to have the lead they have.
Wake Forest was down as many as 13 coming out of the break, and you're absolutely right. They didn't fold it up. In fact, they roared from behind to grab the lead on a 23-4 run before giving way again.
And 13 felt like 23 in your typical game. I mean, neither team really was lighting it up on the offensive end. So 13 points felt like a pretty significant deficit. But they just chipped away. And again, it started with what they did defensively. Again, you may have an idea coming into a season. Again, NIL, portal, all these things, they're just changes in the game that you have to adapt to as a coach. So you assemble a team thinking you're going to play a certain way. But when the games get played, you've got to figure out how to manipulate wins. And Steve Forbes has done just that.
Now, one of the keys on these plays from that particular part of the floor is giving enough room.
Oh, you're saying the bench isn't going to give up some space?
I don't think so.
I sure wouldn't.
Ted Valentine made sure he had a little bit more. Gillis trying to get it in play. Still looking, and Flagg with a catch. And finally they converge on him, and Hildreth commits the foul. 3 seconds came off the clock there, so 61-56 and Duke to shoot.
Just want to remind people, though, that usually the outlet guy, which is your last option, that you throw the ball up to and trust him to go get, it's not the guy you want to shooting free throws. That's an advantage you have with Flagg on the floor.
Hildreth has fouled out. He had a tough afternoon here. did not play all that much in the end. He sat a huge part of the first half in foul trouble. So when you look back on this, if Wake Forest can't rally and pull one out, that's going to be a big factor in why they didn't win the game.
It's a big factor, but you still have to look at Harris and say, like, does Harris do what he did in terms of the physicality in the fight? If Hildreth has a better game and is on the floor for the typical minutes he'll play.
Yeah, Harris played 27 minutes, 14 points for him. That's a guy who was averaging 6 points a game coming in.
But it's always the intangible things when you're playing a superior team. And it's okay to say that. Duke is a superior team to arguably almost anybody in the country.
So Flagg back to the line and sinks number one. To make it 62-56, he'll have another with 13.2 seconds.
The other thing in that Duke huddle you're talking about is, you know, we get the ball in bounds, make free throws. We're not fouling guys. We got to be cautious not to foul. Make them change directions. Slow them down as best as possible. You're going to pick up a little bit here, three-quarter court.
Flagg with 24, 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Harris gave it up. He lost it, and that's the game. Duke will win this one against Wake Forest on the road, and that is 13 consecutive wins for the #2 team in the country. Duke wins it 63-56.
If you're Duke, yeah, there's some things to be frustrated about. At one point, 2 of 20 in the second half. They struggled to score. They struggled to manufacture good looks on the offensive end, but you also have to take any single win you get on the road in conference play and leave and just focus on the next one.
John, great having you.
My pleasure.
Our final score, Duke 63, Wake Forest 56. Houston, Kansas next. For John Crispin and our entire crew, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for being with us. Right now, we will send it to the 2 handsomest guys